Hey everyone, we are Leen and Wim, a couple from Belgium. Last summer we set out on a crazy adventure, cycling all the way from Belgium to Croatia. We biked 1,600 kilometers through 7 countries, and with every border the journey changed. We rode under burning sun and into cold, relentless rain. We climbed mountains we hadn't planned for and fixed bikes we didn't expect to break. Some days tested our bodies, others pushed our minds. Each night brought a new place to rest and a story worth telling. Belgium to Croatia, 20 days and one unforgettable road. This is not just a journey, this is our journey, and it's only just begun. At breakfast we are served scrambled eggs crowned with a tiny red flower. It turns out to be nasturtium, lightly peppery, full of vitamins and apparently good for you. How thoughtful of the cook to offer us a little botanical doping before the climb. Or perhaps it is simply the first flower for the wreath we might earn today, given that we are likely to die at least 10 times on the way up. There is no time left for whispered prayers. We strap the bags onto the bikes and pull ourselves into rain jackets. Because, of course, to make things extra spicy, we will be climbing in the rain. Today we are steadily working our way up to the Brenner Pass, although as the day will later reveal, altitude is only the smallest of our worries. For now the mountain merely throws in a small surprise. The asphalt ends without warning and turns into gravel. I had pictured a neat ribbon of tarmac guiding us all the way up, but instead we are offered a rougher texture under our tires. An inconvenience perhaps, but nothing more than a reminder that the Brenner does not hand out its altitude for free. The view of one of the Brenner's imposing bridges makes up for a lot. Sure, I would have preferred sunshine, but something in me knows this rough weather suits the moment better. It makes everything harder, yes, but also grander, more dramatic, as if the scenery itself has been tuned to the magnitude of what we are doing. Eventually the gravel gives way to asphalt again, thankfully so, because the gradient bites harder here. Just when I am convinced I am about to stall, a few men on e-bikes are standing by the roadside. They look up and without hesitation start applauding. I drop my head for a second at the sight of it and smile. My legs burn, my breathing turns ragged. A road worker turns around and calls out, "Bravo, just a little bit more." I could not have asked for a better fuel. I squeeze out what is left, find that smile again, and carry it with me over the final meters. After the last bend, the road softens, and then we roll straight towards the sign that confirms it. Brenner. Today we have not only pushed a personal boundary, we have crossed another one entirely. Benvenuti in Italia. Country number 5. On one of our earlier trips, someone warned us. Cycling in Italy, they said, is asking for trouble. Cars brushing past you, bike paths that lead nowhere, and chaos everywhere. We had quietly filed the warning away. But the first meters beyond the border immediately proved the opposite. On the Austrian side, the final stretch of the climb had no bike path at all. Cars and trucks thundered past us inches away. Here, suddenly we are giving our own perfectly smooth strip of asphalt, neatly separated, seemingly just for us. And then there is the weather, because no sooner have we crossed the line than the sun carefully breaks through. Between the clouds, a few shy rays find their way down, landing right on our path, as if it gently taps us on the shoulder and whispers, "Welcome in Italy, the worst is behind you." Slowly the Brenner motorway slips out of view. For kilometers it had been our constant companion, carving its bold line through the valley, always there when we looked up. Now we leave it behind for good. It's hard not to admire such an audacious piece of engineering, suspended between mountains as if it belongs there by sheer force of will. Wim, as always, cannot resist and pulls out his phone and starts Googling. Apparently, construction of the motorway began in 1959, but its most striking feature, the Europabrücke, was inaugurated in 1963. Rising 190 meters above the valley floor, it once claimed the title of the highest bridge in Europe. Today, traffic skims across it like toy cars on a child's playset, oblivious to the vastness beneath. In a small village we stop at a modest restaurant and ask if we can eat something. The hostess nods and starts listing the menu, if that word even applies. There are 2 options, she says, thankfully in German, since neither of us speaks Italian. Spaghetti bolognese, we hear, and something else. Whatever that second option was never really lands. The moment the word spaghetti bolognese reach our ears, the decision is made. We are, after all, in Italy. About 10 kilometers before Bruneck I go to shift gears. There's a sharp crack, nothing dramatic I think, until I realize I can no longer shift with my right hand. Something's wrong with my bike, I call to Wim. I'm not panicking yet. Wim usually fixes things before they fully register as broken. Let's hope the cable hasn't snapped, he says. A moment later he nods. It has. Bruneck is still 10 kilometers away, with a few bike shops waiting there like distant lifeboats. Wim manually sets my gear to a reluctant compromise. It works, barely. On the hills I grind my way up. On the flats my legs spin wildly. On the steeper ramps I give up and start pushing. Those 10 kilometers suddenly feel twice as long. About an hour later we row into Bruneck. My legs feel like overstretched elastic bands, but our spirits are still clinging to hope. We head straight for the largest bike shop in town. It looks promising. A mechanic steps outside, takes one glance at my rear hub and shakes his head. Roll off, he says. I don't touch those. Wim tries to explain in German that it's only a broken cable. He even offers to help. The answer remains the same. The man turns around and disappears back into the workshop. At the second shop we are met with a shrug and a near identical verdict. Roll off. Sorry, not here. Wim gently voices what has been hovering in the air. If we cannot fix this, the journey might be over. What about a rental bike, I suggest, grasping for loose ends. Wim sighs. I keep throwing out possibilities, but I can feel it slowly sinking in. This could be the end. Here, in Bruneck, on day 14 of our adventure, just 6 days away from the finish.
Het feit dat ik hier zo zit bij een fietsenwinkel is niet zo goed.